Essentially, we'd go out until we got shot at, and then we'd return fire.
2 brutal tours in Afghanistan.
But I knew it was going to be ugly, and I wasn't let down.
Ended with a medevac out of country for Matthew Kale. His final task was to go and pick up a soldier and medic who had been shot. Then gunfire erupted. The truck he was in accelerated as he manned a mounted gun. Then they slammed into a culvert.
And it threw me up and out of the gun, and I struck my face on the turret shield on the way out.
His face would have to be reconstructed. Multiple spinal injuries had him on a mess of painkillers.
My worst injury was PTSD, and I didn't even know it yet.
And he would be sent home with nothing more than his pills and his thoughts.
6 months after I got back, I really started to dwell on the things that I'd seen and the things that I'd done. I drank a bottle of Jack Daniels, and I decided that I'm done. And I drank another bottle of Jack Daniels and took every pill that I could find.
That was failed suicide attempt number 1. He also survived number 2. His doctors, recognizing PTSD, continued to prescribe him antidepressants. Pills, Matt says, made him numb, but not better.
You can sit there and talk with a therapist over and over and over again and just beat your head against that brick wall and never make any progress.
But psychedelic drugs, like psilocybin mushrooms, did help.
But for some reason, these substances allow you to look at your experiences and look at your life in a different way.
There's research that may back up these claims. 51 terminally ill cancer patients took mushrooms in a recent Johns Hopkins study. 80% of them showed significant reduction of their depression or anxiety. Another study published last year shows mushrooms have low potential for abuse and dependence, but there are still unknowns being studied.
I don't think we know enough about psilocybin and the effects that it can have on people.
Denver District Attorney Beth McCann is just one of Denver's leaders opposed to decriminalizing psilocybin in the city. Organizers submitted more than 5,500 valid petition signatures to get the measure on the ballot.
Free the spores! Free the spores!
Researchers have public safety concerns too. They say potency varies. People with a personal history of psychosis could relapse when taking these drugs. What will happen when someone who's hallucinating starts walking around in public or gets behind the wheel? And then there's the issue of becoming the first city in America to tell police and courts to back off.
I am concerned about Denver becoming a place where people will want to come to use drugs. Drug deals can go bad and people end up getting shot. Often people get robbed. Drugs are the basis of a lot of criminal behavior.
She worries about it becoming a problem because it's not much of one now. Of the 9,267 drug cases filed by the Denver District Attorney's Office between 2016 and 2018, only 11 involved psilocybin.
If we were to become that state, we'd be a hell of a lot better than all the rest. There's no reason why these substances should still be criminalized.
But the outspoken advocates pushing for Denverites to decriminalize on May 7th say this is medicine they need and want to use without fear. It's currently a felony to have mushrooms, get caught, and face up to a year in prison, a stiff penalty for something Matthew Kale says shouldn't be a crime at all.
Without mushrooms, I would still be stuck in the cycle of pursuing a feeling instead of finding it within myself.
In Denver, Ryan Harrer, 9 News.